I'm on the carnivore, baby. You guys ready? Because we're they're hearing us. They just can't see us yet. You want them to see us? Ready? You ready for your beautiful? Hold on. Fix that. Your hair is just off to the side. A little bit. Okay. There he is. Hey,
There we are.
Look at that.
Live.
Back
Live.
again. You know what I named this one? It's episode 22. I named it We're Back.
We're back.
We're back. It feels like we've been away so long that
this
we
guy-
had to
This guy
be
ruined our lives.
Yeah, you're running around the world, dude.
No, just my annual snowmobiling trip was last weekend. The weekend before that was our UAC event in Beverly Hills. So that was
Same.
2 in a row. And then 2 weeks before that, I was in Puerto Rico. So yeah, I traveled 3 out of 4 weeks.
Rude.
Yeah, I did
This
this.
day.
But I got
So
some more
big.
coming.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
start.
I got some more
Should we
coming.
get somebody
I'm not
else?
threatening.
I
I'm
think
just saying.
it's called 3 Docs Coffee,
We
not
could get
2 and a half,
another-
2 Docs Coffee. We'll get another doc.
we need
We should get
a.
another doc in.
No.
We have to have an
There's-
alternate.
There are no replacements.
We can
We
bring
got-
somebody else in.
You were up in like where were you?
We
by
were up
Lake
in
George, right?
Inlet, New York, which is like 2 hours past Lake George.
Right.
So it's the Adirondack Mountains. We did a legendary 2 days, 305 miles of snowmobiling in the most perfect conditions we've
I
ever
was-
seen there.
The reason why I brought that up is because we were at Okemo skiing, and I have never in 47 years had ski conditions in the east that were probably better than some of the Colorado conditions. It was absolutely unbelievable. You ski? You do anything?
No.
Nothing. You snowmobile?
I used to. I sold
used to.
mine. Yeah.
You became an old man. What is it? What are you doing?
I mean, I don't get on them
No,
enough.
he's got
He's
the
grumpy.
He's got those.
I know.
three-wheelers
Don't
from
be
him.
grumpy.
I'm not grumpy.
All right. They got one of those cartoons.
I
grumpy.
want a snowmobile.
Okay.
But it's like I just look at them and then I just get pissed. Because
Yeah.
we
They
have
sit there
You
They're
want to
out.
use them.
Yeah,
you
and you
want
don't
to
have
use them,
snow
and we're not far enough upstate. So
this year I could use them.
these
Of course,
lakes,
The year I
Yeah.
sold them.
this
how
string
it
of
works.
lakes in Long Lake, Racket Lake, all these lakes in the Adirondacks, there's just miles and miles and miles of single track, road size
Yeah.
track, railroad track, frozen lakes. I got to hit 86 miles an hour, fastest I've ever gone
Nice. You'll get there.
across the lake.
You'll get
You'll get there. Well, you're only on a 600. That's not fair.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we
That's
we
not
had
fair.
no one of the guys. So we
It's like
had
driving a Subaru.
4 sleds. Right?
It's like you think you're fast and then a real car shows up. Right.
2.4 liter.
No, it's interesting you
Four-cylinder
say that
turbo,
because it's wild when you got it gunned
Yeah.
and you're thinking you're going faster than you've ever gone before, and some guy passes you.
Yeah, like
It's
you're
holy
yeah.
shit. But one of the guys has a 900. The other 2 sleds are 800s. I have the 600 because it's an Arctic Cat and it's so I can handle so well. You kick the back out.
Yeah.
and, I mean, we're not. We're old men. We're
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are younger than me, man. Are you kidding me? It's like skiing. I'm like, I'm not jumping. I'm not going through trees. Wait,
So
wait a minute.
hold,
I'm an
hold
old-
on. So this is an annual trip that I almost canceled because I had starting in November, I had a radiculopathy going down my right leg,
Vagina
driving me nuts. And I go see Dr. Chris DiCarlo here in New City, New York. I got to give you a plug.
Hey.
Yeah, buddy.
And just stayed on a regimen of getting adjusted, getting decompression, doing my spinal remodeling exercises, and have pretty much.
Spinal remodeling.
Well,
do you call that,
that's
or
what
is
it
that
is.
him?
Yeah.
I
That's what it is.
freaking
Yeah.
love that
That's what it
line.
is.
But
I want to.
I was doing.
on the podcast. I wanted to say spinal realignment.
Remodeling.
Yeah.
remodeling. I like that.
And it was great. I was feeling better, and so I'm like, all right, do I go there? Because it's snowmobiling kicks your ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna come back hurting. I'm gonna come back, like I'm gonna fuck everything up. All the good that I did, I'm gonna fuck it up, screw it all up. Sorry, Chris.
We always get
West
So-
Virginia, Chris.
So the first day, got off the sled. My back was just fine. I had a right hip flexor tightness. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. Woke up the next morning, felt absolutely fantastic. We snowmobiled another 100 miles that day, and I've been solid, absolutely solid the whole time.
Come on.
Come on. It's not
come
me.
on.
It's not me. It's the process.
Yeah,
I tell
man.
people all the time, got nothing to do with me. It's the process. I stand here all day.
You do stand. You just watch them.
They
Do
gotta
you
do what
cross
they
your
gotta
arms
do.
like this? Are you like a lifeguard with a whistle?
They call me Maestro. I'm always like,
I feel like you got to get him like the.
I love that.
red
You know
bathing
what?
suit and-
That's good. You have your team. You have people moving from here to here. 10
Yeah.
minutes there. 10 pounds on the
Yeah.
neck. Hung like a 45-pound plate off my neck.
10 pounds. It's 10 pounds.
Just 10 pounds.
It is heavy. though.
All right,
like-
so wait, hold
not
on a
like
second.
45
If he said that was a 45-pound plate and it was 10 pounds, if he also said he was going 86 miles an hour, that means he was probably going
50.
12.
I got it.
He's got it on
No, I
video.
have it on my
Proof.
app.
Yeah, he sent
have
it to
on
us.
my,
We saw it. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh man, well we
That's
missed you, man.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I missed this
We were
more than we
definitely
missed the
talking
other.
about you guys. I'm up there with my,
Real friends.
three other chiropractors.
His real
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
no, I
3
talk
docs.
about-
Coffee. That's why we had to change the name,
Right. We're
because
gonna
he already had 3 guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys.
That's what
well,
it was.
Chris was there, the guy who doesn't like when I curse, but
Oh, was he
other
there?
than that, yeah.
Oh,
Did you talk him into it, or did he talk you out of it?
tell him to calm down?
Yeah.
No, he's
Does
okay
he
with it.
understand what we're like? The whole idea of this is that we're just still sitting at the coffee place. Now
Chilling.
we just have cameras, microphones, and
Right.
lights in front of us.
Right, but we did change the name from 3 guys to 3 docs. So we
Yeah.
we keep the content relatable to
Yes.
our world. So
In a perfect time in this world.
UAC, so the Ultimate Achievers Club that we belong to. The event in Beverly Hills was great. Did you talk to your brother-in-law?
Yeah, we talked to
Okay.
Eric quite a bit. Yeah,
Eric's great. He's great. I
He said he
really,
had
I
a really
really,
good time with you.
I really enjoy him. I actually have a call with him at 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he wants to talk about some
Yes,
stuff.
he does. He wants to bring some of your functional medicine stuff into his office. That's
Yeah,
what he
man.
said. So
And so yesterday my programmer did a little demo of what we're building. I can't even tell you how excited I am
Yeah,
about this.
that's
I
so
can't
funny.
even tell you.
you
It
should
is
hack it
hack
right
it.
now. Hack it
Put
right
it
now.
is
Yeah.
it is so good. It's so good, and we're
Yeah.
about to launch my course. So
Nice.
everything is happening. Everything
all
is happening
happening.
all at once. Yeah.
It's all happening. I like that.
But at UAC, we had an interesting sponsor, Aloha AI, some kind of a marketing firm. And it's funny because we have the sponsor, it's not like we have vendors, but we have a sponsor go up, do a 5-minute spiel. And he goes up and he starts his 5-minute spiel. He's a young guy, does a good job, but the software looks like a million other softwares. Like you get so many texts and you get your reviews and you get, like everybody's doing this.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden he turns on this audio conversation between a human and his software. And I was blown away. Because the idea is if somebody's interested in your product or your service, if you can get them on a call within 5 minutes, your chance of
Close.
getting them to commit and come in and follow through skyrockets.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, it just drops. So I couldn't believe that this was a human speaking with a computer.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Billy is in our accountability group, Billy Sticker
Yeah.
from Cairo Candy. And about 4 months ago, you guys want to hear this? Like, what? You guys want to hear this? What? And he just turned it on without even telling us.
Yeah.
It wasn't him.
Yeah.
And I don't like when he say he's building this, like I could buy your software or this guy's
Yeah.
software and stuff like that. But I guess Billy was doing something about building it. I don't know. He's got into that technical skill. Every one of our Friday groups now, recently, I've been asking Billy a few little tidbits, and I wasn't on the group last week because we were skiing, but the week before that, he just did pretty much. I'm like, can you just take my time and he taught us AI and a little bit of that kind of stuff. It is insane.
Yeah.
So this guy, if he's got something that's like, it is incredible what is going on right now because with the with LLM,
Yeah.
learning language model and everything like that, and it's not. I'm actually read a book because Eric told me to read the book, and it just AI started with trying to guess what your next word was. That's how it all started.
Right. Even with just word, right?
One
you're-
word.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
you wanted to guess what your next one word was.
and we saw that when you write on a Word document, or a
Mhm.
Google Docs or whatever, it would predictively,
Yeah.
and that's how the whole thing started.
And now it can have a conversation without you.
Chris is scared.
I don't really.
Him not
Chris-
having to talk.
Chris is
This
scared.
is like you
It
guys.
doesn't
He would pay
bother me.
anything for
I
that.
got zero interest. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. In any
You can
way.
use it in other aspects. It doesn't have
No,
to be in
I'm not gonna.
healthcare.
From a marketing standpoint, getting people who are suffering on a call in that first 5 minutes,
Yeah.
is going to allow you to serve more people.
Yeah.
So you
well, I
should
just
care.
hire somebody for that.
Huh?
right?
No, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But
Right.
but bringing it in,
Yeah.
and the whole idea is you don't have to hire someone, right? The idea is to hire the technology.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know,
But then you're also not giving somebody a paycheck, right?
yeah, but that person, instead of cold calling people, can get a job that's a little bit more interesting for them.
Oh, okay.
And use AI as a way to creatively to take their creative juices and offer more value to either an employer or to their own customers, right?
You're not trying to outsource Miguel.
No,
It's like,
Miguel's
you know-
unoutsoursable. Miguel's
That's
Look,
it.
I
Yours
I
forever.
wanted to kill Henry Ford when all those people who made the horseshoes fucking lost their job. Sorry, Chris. When all those people,
That's
you know,
right.
So
That's right.
technology always
Wins.
progresses
It
us
always
forward
wins. It
No, I
always
like
wins.
the idea of it.
economically and employment and this techno pessimism. I have no space for it.
no, I'm all in.
Is that a word? Techno pessimism?
Yeah, techno
Have you heard of that
fear.
before?
No, of course not.
I'm a
No.
techno optimist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm a techno optimist.
I just want to know how to use it this time. I want to be one that uses it for what I need to do.
So another UAC member, Lauren, who She Slays podcast,
Yep.
her husband gave us a tutorial on using Claude and using it in projects.
Claude?
Yeah, Claude.
I know Claude. I don't know Claude.
Claude. You know, there's OpenAI or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
There's Claude. There's
Gemini.
Gemini.
yeah.
There's right. So Claude is one of them, and ChatGPT has this too. This projects. So you have projects, so your whole team can be on a project, but you could have another project that only you can see, and you can organize things. So he blew us away. I can't even describe what he went through. So we recorded it, and I have to go through it. But he learned it all in a course that he took, and he's going to share that course with us too. So I'll share it with you guys. No, I'm all in. I wanna know more.
Billy is the one that started me on it. Now I have had 3 books I'm doing. I opened up a brand new ChatGPT Pro. Specifically, I haven't touched it yet because I want it to. Eric was talking about giving it a personality, your
Right,
personality. So, like everything you put in there, it kind of creates your persona already, and you can't delete that. So right now, I have a pure one. I haven't started because I wanted to act like me, think like me, talk like me, and that kind of stuff. Like I'm a perfectionist, I'm OCD, I'm a little ADD, that type of thing. So I need that to be me. And so I have to. I haven't. He sent me the one book. It's coming tomorrow, Sunday.
There's a website I'll share with you guys that basically any book, not any book, but has a library of books that are in PDF for free. And you can take that book, you can upload it into your AI, right? So let's just say it's whatever, any book on Alex Hormoz.
Anything on PD.
$100 million leads. You upload it. It does take up space, and you're limited to your space. And you can say, I want you to take all of the salient points about this, and so now it's part of the project. So everything that you ask that ChatGPT or whatever to do is going to have that context.
Yeah.
From that book, and you can.
Yeah, because you gave it that personality. You said this is what it is. There's a Chrome extension is it YouTube or whatever it is that does that, and it takes every PDF and like that. It's just even an extension. You don't even have to buy anything. You don't look at him. He's glazed over.
No.
You
So
lost him.
hold
lost
on. No.
It's so exciting.
I
this stuff.
have a question for Chris. So if we were to magically go back to 2007, Facebook was launched. All these social media sites, and what you know now. How would you move forward?
What would I have done differently?
Yeah, knowing what you know now.
It's a good question. I like that question.
I don't really know because I don't really think I've done anything different. I don't. I'm I don't have space for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I
So-
would have invested every single dollar and penny I had
I
in
know.
Facebook. That's what I would have
Right.
done.
I mean, but that's
Yeah.
that everyone would say that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. To me, I'm like, you know that here. Like I'm meeting your IT guy today at 9:15 at my office.
No DTM over here?
The young man, what's his name?
Christian?
Christian.
Nice.
Maybe it's not Christian.
Maybe
One
not.
Kelly gave us that. That's your offices.
Yeah.
Christian.
You asked Kelly, not me.
Lauren did. Because if I asked you, you wouldn't have told me.
I would have told you quicker than Lauren could have. Kelly had to get to me to
Yeah,
get
right.
to you.
Yeah.
It did take a
You
long
did
time.
about 27 steps. You could have done a half step.
No, I just asked Lauren to do it.
You could have hiccuped. I
But
would have
that's-
known what
that's
that
just-
was.
I'm just better at let somebody else worry about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about AI. It's just too much for me. I don't even want to
Yeah.
think about websites and internet.
I want to know what
Hate all of it.
what I want to be thinking about.
I don't.
That's where my issue is.
it's not
But
like
I had a
zero
call with
interest in it.
I had a call with Franson yesterday.
Oh, how'd that go?
I first of all, I love Franson, so
Yeah.
it was great. And I was just like, I was in a space zone too, and I'm like, dude, I'm completely lost at this
Yeah.
point. I says, I've done great. I don't know where I need to be. I says, today, I really have not much on the schedule today. I've got this, and then I got the accountability call, and I got not much. I'm like, I now have that time that everybody begs for, and I want to do something. I have no idea.
I
what the
told
hell
you
to
I
do.
got the idea with the whores, the strippers, and the
Done. I'm in, right?
Me too.
And we were talking about one of the things I always thought about I wanted was annual recurring revenue, monthly recurring revenue. I always said I wanted to have a business like freaking, let's call it Netflix or whatever it is. And it's just, $11.99, $12.99, $13.99. And Netflix you use, but just something that it's monthly recurring revenue. And sometimes you don't use it, but you don't even think about canceling it because it's cheap enough and you're going to use it.
Like
at
your
some
gym
point.
membership.
Well, I don't have a gym membership. So I'm not dumb enough to have that.
Like a
And
gym membership.
Like right.
Like,
Well, no, because Lifetime's $300 a month. Maybe it's if it's like a retro fitness where you're just gonna do it because it's so cheap.
like the one in Pro River before they just closed. Vision,
Yeah, Vision.
Vision. Had 5, 6, 7. I think because I know the owner. I think at one point he told me he had 7,000 members.
Yeah.
Place can only hold 300 people.
Yep.
7,000 people were paying monthly.
Yeah,
300 people show up.
that's what I want. I want the first of the month,
Yeah.
and then
Are we playing a status game or are we playing a business game?
I mean, I'm doing my life work here, right? So that's just kind of like, all right, let's make my money make money. That's I think I don't know if it's status, but it's just business.
Right. So all right. So when it comes to that idea that I want as many people paying me $13.99 a month as possible in perpetuity, just because.
Well,
What is the purpose
this
behind
was the
it?
7 Whys.
because he's got a small wiener.
And I don't have a good enough car, obviously. either,
right.
so-
Right. No.
Why you need a Subaru?
Yeah, everybody needs a Subaru.
At least one, by the way. You know what's funny? Subaru sales are skyrocket after this podcast.
Yeah, that's it goes both ways because I think and I say this all the time. I think there's got to be a blend somewhere between me and you, and that's the sweet spot of life. That's why I
Yeah.
think we all work well together because I just don't care.
Yeah.
About. I mean, I know exactly to the T how much money I make every second, but it's the last thing on my mind.
Yep.
Like
It's
I
not
don't-
even on your mind.
I don't. It's
Doesn't have
never,
any-
never do I ever think about
Dude,
except for twice a month when I pay the bills.
Yep.
And then all my money is automatically funneled into its places.
And then taxes.
Every once in a while, I look at it. And
When I go to his office, he's standing there, always in the same spot. He's like Captain Kirk on the bridge of the Enterprise.
yeah?
I'm telling you, he's really it's great. You're in your zone. You're
Yeah.
really
like
like
stand there.
it is a
Sleepy.
pleasure to watch because you're in your zone. Like you have your flow. You have your flow state, right?
Your passion, your passion, your vision, everything.
I just
Like,
say-
you're
I
just
say
trying
money-
to execute that
I
vision.
just say money is always a side effect of doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I never look.
Right.
I mean, and it's a downfall because I could be doing more stuff to make more money, but I just feel uncomfortable with that. Like,
Well, okay, but
money
then what
is
would you do?
nothing.
What would you do with that more money? Would that be
I
able
don't-
to help more people, or that would be just more for
no, I don't,
ego status or
No,
I don't, because
merchandise?
I don't care about stuff.
Lam-
I honestly
Lamborghini.
could buy anything I want.
Lambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What's
you're
wrong?
you're still in the market for that.
Yeah. I'm
got
in,
the
I-
lift.
Well, he
got
almost made
everything,
a left turn to McLaren.
I
though.
did go to McLaren.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
it.
Let
It's
me
over.
tell you.
Yeah,
So I sent that picture. I
went
sent
on
I sent that
Saturday.
picture from Beverly
Yeah,
Hills,
yeah.
but
Dope.
the showroom was there, and I got to tell you, I like the McLaren.
The McLaren
Just
was
from
nice.
an aesthetic
Yeah.
standpoint.
They have a 2025 is hybrid now, so under 30 miles an hour it runs on electric, and then after that it kicks in, but you don't have to charge it because the motor charges
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
electric. So
I always said it should be hybrid. I feel like hybrid, you can charge your own battery.
it just
it
feels
probably
weird
seems
having
the most
having
efficient.
an exotic. That's like having a a Shelby that's electric. Like it just seems like
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah,
right? It seems
there's no
uncomfortable.
roar.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
it
no
does.
roar.
Once I did sit in it. They have some great leases. It was a gray similar to your gray with a gold sparkle in it, and
Oh,
it
man.
was convertible. It was beautiful. So I just put both of them in a group text, and I'm just letting them
Marinate. Let's see what happens.
battle it out. Lamborghini and McLaren. I was
Uh-huh.
just like, here's what he's giving me. Let's see what happens.
You should have used AI.
I don't know.
Where's McLaren made?
Where are they made?
Yeah.
What country?
Yeah,
Oh, I have no idea.
yeah. What
McLaren.
is McLaren? Is that an American car?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
McLaren. It's got to be
Irish?
Yeah,
McLaren.
It's
I'm
from,
not
it's
sure,
from
but
Great
yeah,
Britain. No, I don't
but-
know.
So that's it. Like, so back to you. Not, I just, internal revenue that's always coming in.
Yeah.
May be just a financial safety net for you.
I think
Makes you
so. It's
feel
comfort.
better. Comfort.
Yeah, I happen to agree. I do have all the money I can live on for the rest of my life, but
Right.
it's like it's comfort. But it's something I want.
Yeah, but
You don't want it.
is it
I don't want
is it the money or is it the achievement? Is it the
It's not
is
the
it
achievement because he
game?
doesn't care what it is.
What's that?
You don't care what it is. If I said there's
Yeah.
you could sell bags of shit and get $10 a month coming in, and you would make, and the 5 million people would do that.
Right,
you
right,
would
right.
do that.
Right.
He's selling shit.
And I also wouldn't go buy a mega mansion he can't even tell me. He can't even sell me on this R8. I mean, he's just.
try it.
I'm not. I don't need.
You're not
I don't
that
need
kinda guy.
merchandise. I
Yeah.
wear TJ Maxx clothes. That type of thing. I'm like, it's just the comfort of it having there. And
Are
I
you
I
and
know-
Kelly on the same
Yeah,
page
I'm
with
scared-
that?
Scarcity
I'm still there.
mindset. It's normal.
Are you and
Yes.
Kelly on the
and
same page
that's
with
the
that?
problem. Exactly. Yeah, Kelly.
You're
and I
not on the same page.
We are. We
You
are.
are.
Yeah.
So why is
that-
that a problem?
Because it's a stressful and anxiety ridden life.
No, but you're
Because
you're
it's
aligned.
We're aligned and we're motivated.
yeah, but it's
But for what?
it's a dangerous place to be because it's the 7 laws of spiritual success. The 1st
Mhm.
law is it's that there's that external reference point. Everything out there is what makes you happy in here.
Yeah.
So the more you have,
Right.
the more money coming in.
But then it never
then
fills.
as soon as you get it, like you
There's
had one
always
office
another
once,
level.
now you
Yeah,
have 3.
yeah.
You had 3 offices once, you had 7. When you have
Right.
7, you have 15. You're never
Right.
happy.
You're filling a
And
black hole.
someone's always
Chasing the
going,
carrot.
and someone's always going to be
Bigger
bigger
and
and better than
Yeah.
you. And I'm the total opposite. Is my internal reference point. So I walk around missing opportunities because I'm like, oh man, look
Doesn't
at that tree.
Right,
It's so
yeah.
pretty.
It's-
I'm
but it-
driving in the sun today, and I'm like, God, the sun driving here is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just so the other
Yes.
way. Like, and so
I
me
get
and-
glimpses of that.
Me and Lauren don't.
Lauren and I.
Lauren and I, dickhead.
What you're trying to
Know what you're trying to say. We're just so in the other spot of it that we just
Yeah.
laugh because it's like we go to the mall and we're like, yo, let's, and then it's just like, I don't really need that.
Yeah,
So it's just the opposite. So there's a balance somewhere in the middle.
there is.
You
But again, this is not out of out of vanity or something like that. It's
know,
more Kelly than me, but she nails it, and I didn't realize it. It is
Childhood.
safety.
it's childhood upbringing.
It is. There is she doesn't feel safe.
Right.
And it's like I'm sorry, I'm probably admitting this in the first time, Kay, and I probably should admit it to you. I kind of get what you're saying. I'm like, what do you mean you don't feel safe? I'm trying to be the man, the strong. I'm like, how do you not feel safe? Like, Kay, we're good. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
God, you
It's
look
a
at what we
sickness.
have. Like, yeah.
It's just a
And-
childhood upbringing. I used to be exactly like that. I told you, and I was on a class with Dr. Fred. He's doing a 5-day thing, and I was on there. And about 15 years ago, I took the personality test. What is that one?
Strength finders?
Briggs?
Strength Finders
Oh.
or something. And maybe it wasn't Strength Finders, but it came back like competitive, ego, forceful, like
Mhm.
all those.
It changed.
And yeah, to a totally different. And then I
What was
redid
the
it.
catalyst for that?
Dr. Fred, spiritual growth.
Spiritual.
Because I came from my father was very much like you.
Yeah.
Need more, this. We have to, this is not enough. My dad would be the guy who would always always stressed at work and always stressed at home because something wasn't this and this and this. And I don't, always da. And then, so that's what I was. And then I had found my spiritual reference point. I dove in and spent about 12 or 13 years as fully submerged. And then I retook it.
Wow.
Totally different.
I'm into this Project 369.
Totally
I try to get a couple of pages in every night, and I see that, and it's something like, of course you want to strive for that. Like, it's not like I'm naive.
And the funniest part about it is when you get to my biggest office growth was when I got to the point of least resistance. When I got to the point of we're not going to count numbers anymore. I'm not counting numbers. I'm not bringing numbers to my office meeting. I'm bringing.
Sorry, Steve.
No, me.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
team-
okay.
the
The team is doing
They're
their job.
measuring
Yeah.
and they're measuring the metrics. We're using all of these formulas.
Mhm.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I create resistance
Right.
with that because if there's a goal in mind, I want to get it.
Right.
So if I don't know it, I
It
just
brings back that
the old
that
you, the
ego,
old
like-
personality.
Like if your goal is to get to that, you need, you're almost at the the highest point and your
Yes.
highest
Yeah.
visits or whatever. You just start pushing, and when you're pushing, you're making resistance rather than life is about flow, not about pressing, and
Mhm.
everyone's pressing.
Yeah, oh my
Right.
God.
So-
You're nailing it on the head.
So as soon as you get
Just
to
when
that
we were about to hit
spiritual-
1,000, and it's like, you're pushing harder. It just
Right.
went.
Yeah.
You're like,
because you're pushing, and you need to be attracting.
Yeah.
So what you focus on, you get, and you're focusing on all the people who are missing that could have got you to 1,000, and it's making.
and it wasn't even about that. It
Yeah,
was,
no, whatever.
You got that. No,
Yeah,
I mean, it shouldn't. We were about let's get to 1,000 only because we wanted to get to 1,000. It was this big shiny freaking number, but yeah, we're trying to help people here.
Yeah, and that's the
Trying to
problem.
help
So
people.
we were
Just-
always saying like, once we hit this number, we'll do this, then we hit it,
Yeah.
and we're like 10 seconds later, like, okay, new number.
Yeah.
Like,
You didn't
what
celebrate the
happened?
wins.
It's interesting because you mentioned how much you like Kobe Bryant's biography.
The
and-
Mamba
Hold on a
mentality.
second. You saw that Greg didn't even come in this door over here. Was he trying to avoid you as far as possible? Every single week we were here. Every single week we were here.
Yeah.
He came in this door. What happened?
Yeah, I
You
don't
guys
know.
have a beef?
No.
You don't
Yeah.
like that they're engaged now? What happened?
I want to hear about
Sorry. All right, let's go back to Kobe Bryant. I
Yeah.
got distracted. Go back to Kobe Bryant.
So I was listening to this podcast about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and the way they were, and everything was this competitive, like what you're describing, because sports is a zero-sum game. I gotta win, you gotta lose,
Right.
and that's not what life is.
Right.
It's always win. It's never in order for me to win, somebody else has to lose, right? But sports is completely different.
Right.
So that mentality, that competitive mentality, where Michael Jordan would have to actually manufacture in his mind a reason to
Kill
get
people.
angry.
turn up,
Yeah.
Right.
to 11 because you looked at him the wrong way at
Right.
dinner or something.
Yeah. I mean, and that's how it is when we're playing sports. It's different, and that's
Yeah.
why whenever I'm in sports, we have a mode called tournament mode. Like it's just another level of play. Like when I'm out there playing rec, I'm just like,
Yeah.
And then when two guys show up that are like they think they're good, I'm just like, all right, tournament mode. Then I just click on and I'm
Right.
gonna kill them. But in your office, I think we just get the flow. You just got to get.
What's the other
team
mode?
mode.
If that's not tournament mode, what do I call it?
What?
The mode that you need to be living in 98% of the time.
It's just flow, man.
Flow mode.
Flow mode.
Flow mode.
So with you,
new name of our
with
podcast.
with,
Flow mode.
with
Flow mode.
Chris, when he's serving. So I see him in action.
But he's serving
He's hands on.
his whistle.
But for you, are you in a flow state when you're treating patients, or are you in a
At
flow
times.
state when you're managing the organization?
No, I feel like for some reason now I'm only getting at times into a flow state when I'm seeing patients.
Yeah.
I'm like I feel like confused when I'm managing. I just don't feel like I know what I should be doing
Right.
that will be best serving my team. And then obviously if I'm best serving my team then can best serve the community. So I just I'm trying to find that path. And the funny thing is I'm not looking for that in chiropractic literature and chiropractic
No.
seminars. I'm looking for that in
Well, that's what it is.
this stuff right now. And it's I do actually maybe my problem is this because I am listening to audiobooks all the time, but Project 369, and when I'm doing that, I'm reading a book and I have a hard time reading. I'm borderline illiterate, I think. I can't. so it takes me forever. So I'm getting both at the same time. I don't think that's working for me.
Yeah.
I think I need
You
to
know-
stick to
you
one
know,
or the other.
I agree with you because I've been listening to more books than I care to admit and not reading. And it's interesting because when I do read, the limiting factor, we're not as used to our eyes just doing this, like scanning the page
Left and
or
right too,
the-
versus up and down.
Yeah, the saccades, right? I fatigue.
Right.
I fatigue.
Yeah.
Like,
Go right to bed.
boom, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's what I try
It's
to read in
amazing.
the morning.
I'd go right to bed then too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it doesn't matter.
You gotta read.
I
books.
was never a reader my whole
No,
life,
neither.
so this is a big struggle for me. But I'm into this stuff. I mean, it's a little bit like I get confused. The whole I am, but like that I'm trying to I get it, but then I don't get it. Type of thing.
Yeah.
You kind of get in and out of it and stuff like that.
It's never
But
ending.
it's
What
a
was the
good book.
conclusion with Stephen? What was your?
With Franson?
Yeah.
He gave me a proposal. He says I'm in scale. I mean, like Kelly had no idea I was even having a conversation with Franson and stuff like that. And so Kelly's been very busy, and then she went on to the seminar. So we'll discuss it and see what we want to do. He wants to put me with Eric.
Yeah,
He goes to me, he goes, do you need to be like patted on the back? Like, oh, you're doing such a good job. Or you need to be punched in the face. I'm like, don't you give me fucking pity. You fucking tell me you're an asshole. I'm an asshole. And then he goes, you got to get Eric. So he's trying to put me together with Eric.
Eric is great.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him. He was the one that got me into that book, Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah.
It was from that,
Yep.
from when he did the UAC masterclass
Yep.
thing, whatever it was. So
And
that was the
brother-
book I'm doing at the same time as Project 369. And I'm like, it's like they're battling because I want to be in the spiritual thing. And then there's,
The
I need to
only
have a
thing
strict
that I would
structure.
caution, the only thing that I would caution is if he puts you in the same cohort as your brother-in-law.
no, I wouldn't
I
want to do
think
that.
that would be a mistake.
I wouldn't want to do that. First of all, we have completely different types of practices,
Yeah,
completely different styles, completely
Totally.
different people. I mean, to tell you the truth, I would better be able to serve my community. I know it sounds crazy, but I need to start learning sales.
Yeah.
I need to start learning sales. I need to take sales classes, not because I'm trying to be a used car salesman, but because
Everything is sales.
it is sales.
Getting
And
your
I have
kids
a
to
huge
clean their
Harvard-
room is a sales job.
this stems from the same thing why I need money, because I have a poverty conscious, right?
Right.
And it's horrible because it holds me back helping patients because I'm thinking, oh, you guys are not going to be able to afford this. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to manipulate and I'm going to keep on talking. When I realized it's like, no, this is what you
It's
need.
okay, man. It's okay. I got you.
I got to turn that 10 into 20, that 20 into 40, that 40 into 100.
So,
What do you-
God, I couldn't. I would cry if I had to think like that.
I know. It's
So
horrible.
I don't
I
think
feel
like that at
tortured.
all.
Yeah.
I do.
I
I do feel
think-
tortured.
I-
This is but I love how everybody's listening in on my freaking therapy conference here, my
I
therapy
think-
session.
I know. I mean, I totally get it, and I think it's like that. But I don't think you need to learn sales. I think you need to learn human behavior. I
Okay.
think it's easier
All right.
because if you can recognize human behavior, then you can know
Yeah.
how to talk to somebody, and you can reframe everything into their needs, and then you're sales. To me, chiropractic and sales is icky, gross, convincing, and lots of
Used car,
words.
right? I
It's
don't.
lots of
Yeah,
words.
I don't want to be like that.
7 to 8% of what you say is all they hear, but 60% is body language. So when you understand human behavior, then you can just talk to them like through emotions and understanding, and it's just so much easier. And so it's just your chiropractic is a beingness. It's inside you, and it's a loving, gratitude-ish place to be. And when you're aligned spiritually with beingness, then they feel that. When you're salesing and you're closing,
Yeah.
it's yucky energy, then they can feel it. Everything is energy. So when it's a beingness and you're doing the right thing, which you are always. It's just what's your focus on the outcome.
Yeah, I just don't want money to be in it. I don't want to deal with the money. I don't want to like.
Yeah,
I got a
know.
patient comes in,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I know I can help you. I'm going to help you, and I just almost as if all the time I want somebody else to do all the other stuff.
And
just
that's
a rule of
okay
my
though.
office.
Yeah, but that's what you do.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I never wanted. Again, another rule is I don't want to know if someone's any financial.
Yeah,
at all.
don't bring that
Don't
up to
tell
me.
me anything
Yeah.
about financials.
And that was me 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
So I actually have grown in a different direction only because I'm insurance based, right? And back insurance based, I always had GHI. We live in the border of New York, and
Yeah.
whoever's out there, GHI is the
School
the
teachers,
school teachers, police officers, firefighters in New York City. So all 5 boroughs, that is their state benefits and everything like that. And without saying so many words, let's just say they're not the best reimbursing thing. And I've had those for 22 years, like since my father worked in the city, everything like that, and we have Pearl River, a lot of firefighters over here, and I've always been in this neighborhood and everything like that. And I always had that. Great. But then I also had the very well-paying
New
Jersey. State teachers and police officers in New Jersey had a phenomenal plan where I just didn't have to worry about it, right? And so I would walk into the room. I used to close the doors before COVID, and when I was in with that patient, nothing mattered, because if it was GHI, the next patient would be the Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it would all match up and everything. And I just got a fair reimbursement, and I never worried about a thing. I was so much more lethal then than I am
Because you were
now.
in flow.
I was in flow. And I was in flow. Instead of being in flow 20% of the time, I was in flow 80% of the time.
What do you mean lethal? What does that mean?
Like nothing else mattered. I was a better chiropractor when I didn't have to worry about
Right.
You're a better
But-
person.
I was a better person.
Yeah,
but
but
there was I didn't worry. That was something I didn't have to worry
It was
about.
from here.
That's
right.
now
But the
you're
value
Now I see it.
proposition, the value proposition to the patient was not coming from you. It was coming from this reimbursement system where there was a third party not in the room. And therefore, the value proposition was your time, not your money and your time. And I think what you're talking about is not sales, right?
I love this.
Go ahead.
Well, here's what you're really trying to say.
Yeah,
Right,
what
thank
you're
you.
trying to say is
So the issue is not sales. The issue is having a more complete conversation with the people coming to see you.
right.
Because the truth is, what Chris and I learned once, I haven't built an insurance company in 15 years. Once I did that, then it became like the confidence was there, because you're telling people, yeah, I understand you have health insurance. I don't participate in that system. Here are my fees. And then you realize that 90% of the calls that are coming in are taking you up on your recommendation. And those people are referring other people, and those people who they're referring know how much it costs when they call you.
Yeah.
So
It's just a matter of me just jumping off the cliff and just committing, being like, you know what, this is what I'm doing, and I'll lose people. Probably more in the beginning than I will in the end, only
I
because
lost
it's
100 people
when you did it.
from a Friday to a Monday at that point.
Yeah.
15 years ago or so.
you rip
Yeah.
the Band-Aid off and
Ripped it off.
And then
over over
and now,
again.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're 100% right,
And
it's probably something I need to do,
It's
because
I
I'm
mean,
like
it's one of
you
those things.
can't be half in and half out. And to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
Kelly's brother, when he did it as well, he
Well,
said the same thing.
Well, listen. Here's the thing.
and Eric is good.
He's-
Eric is good.
Yeah.
Like, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with his. Well, he's done a lot of work on communication.
Absolutely.
He's done a lot of work, and I actually asked him to distill it down to one, like just
Pearl? You want
no, not one pearl, like one weekend course that I could go to and just kind of. I don't want to.
You want the 80-20. I want the 80. Give me the, I'll take 20% of my time to learn 80% of what I need to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's done like everything, like Tony Robbins and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, that sounds like a lot of time and work and money. And all right, I don't want to. I'm 50 some odd years old. Give me the.
I think that's his next move. I'd be the first person to take that course. And I'm like, and I'm biased, but it's my brother-in-law. What the hell does he know? He doesn't know anything. He's like my brother.
telling
You
you.
know, what do you do? You're 22-year-old Eric, dude. I used to hang out with you in Atlanta, dude. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
But-
saying,
but
he's so
Dr.
confident,
Fred,
though.
I'm telling you, Dr. Fred's
And
day
Dr.
1, day
Fred, yep.
2 is boot camp. It's a Friday, Saturday. He takes everything chiropractic from the new patient tour to day 1, day 2, day 3, adjusting, and
That
brings
puts it into a
splits
nice
into a
yeah.
communication of beingness, and you spend the entire weekend not talking about chiropractic,
Mhm.
but completely about chiropractic.
Right.
And I had my biggest growth of practice in that weekend when we got back. And then and it's all about the mindset.
You know,
Yeah.
He's a little strange.
he's a little
He's
strange. He's
qualifying
great
it.
though. He's
Yeah,
great.
He's
great.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Schmaus.
But yeah, so like I said, so I mean that's just because he creates a beingness. He creates he's so convicted in the subluxation and the corrective care and the spinal remodeling or whatever. He like so deep into spreading the word through, he's trained with Tony Robbins personally. He's in all of these $25,000 a year programs.
He's the
and
he's one of the lions or whatever the
he's
hell they
just
call
right
it.
in there, and he just lives it. Nothing else. He won't waver from it at all. It's like actually kind of bad.
And I want to get there because let me tell you, man. I mean, I really truly believe that right now, with RFK and everything like that, right now is a great time to be us.
Oh man.
It really
And-
is a great
and
time.
with
It's I don't know.
technology, and with
Yeah.
technology, like I really think this AI thing is going to dwarf anything that
Nope, you
social
lost
media
him.
had done. No. But you got to, again, what does it, Patrick Jen Temple used to say, what does this mean to me as a chiropractor? What does this mean to me for the work that I do? So whenever I look at technology, whenever I look at marketing, whenever I look at sales, whenever I look at any of this stuff, it's like, what does it mean to me in what I do?
How can you help more people?
Yeah, well, not only help more people, but it's also scaling what you do. I'm reading Naval Ravikant's book.
Yeah.
And his
The
book,
Almanac?
The Almanac.
Yeah, I read
Holy
that.
shit.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit.
Are
So-
you reading it or are you listening to it?
I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
But
me too.
I'm taking
I listen to-
notes.
All
I'm
right.
taking notes. So if I could distill just kind of the point where I'm at right now, what's interesting is like there's knowledge and there's specific knowledge. Knowledge is a commodity. It's something that, everyone can learn it. You can go to school, you can get a degree in it. You have knowledge. So many people have it, and therefore the price of it, its value drops, right? And that's
Okay.
fine. Commodities are good. And then there's specific knowledge. That's you. That's your application. And what he talks about is almost like being a monopoly of one. No one can compete with you with being you. You're the only you that there is. So if you've developed a specific knowledge, all right, that's unique to you and you can attract people in your community to come to you. But now we have leverage. So in the old days, no one's going to beat Chris at being Chris. He's a monopoly of one. Therefore, he charges what he charges. He gets paid what he gets paid. And he's got to leverage labor, his team. He's got to hire people. And you're limited to your hands. But if you you only got two.
What are you talking about your hands? You got good hands. You're a hand model over there.
Hand model.
Yeah.
You know what they say about small hands,
Yeah.
small gloves.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So just to finish up on that thought, now with technology, you can leverage not only people, and of course, you could always leverage capital. You could leverage technology, and therefore you can scale. So in what I do, I don't need, it's not dependent on my hands. It's not dependent on location. So I can take my specific knowledge, be a monopoly of one, and be able to scale at a much greater,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that's what's interesting, because a lot of times people will go and try to learn somebody else's system. We have a friend who has a system, and he used to try to sell it to other doctors and say, here, sell my system. It actually has my name on it, but sell it. So now that person's trying to sell something that's not their unique knowledge, it's somebody else's unique knowledge. And the person you're selling it to is like, well, I'm not really getting the guy. I got the guy's friend.
Right.
So
Guy part two.
yeah.
Mhm.
And therefore that person that we know actually moved away from trying to get other doctors to sell his program, and he just went direct to consumer, and he's doing great. But it's him. He's a monopoly of one. He has his own system. No one can compete with him. And therefore, he keeps his price very high, and he communicates his value. So it's that, what is your specific knowledge, and can you leverage capital, labor, technology to scale it and be a monopoly of one?
You just actually flowed right through something I thought was really important as well, is being able to communicate your value. Right. And I think perhaps maybe that's also something
That's
that
the sales
communication, yeah.
conversation. That's the sales
maybe that's a better. It's
conversation.
actually, I think it's a better way of saying it than sales. You need
Right.
to communicate your value.
Right.
Communicate your value. I love that. It just stuck in my head. It's gonna be in my head for the next month.
Look, when
Yeah.
somebody's sitting in front of you and they're making a decision as to whether or not they're going to begin care, you're looking at them saying, what decision?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
if,
what are you talking about? Look
like,
at you.
like if you say no, what you're going to be in they're going to be in a far worse state.
Yeah.
Than because you're confident in that you can assess the patient and help them bring healing from within
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So medicine is a commodity, right? Practice of medicine is health coming from the outside in, or the perception of health coming from the outside in. Our model is no. We're going to create an environment so that health comes from the inside out. It's a completely different conversation. Medicine has been commoditized to the point where you can have a robot do eye surgery, right? So what is the value? How much would you pay for eye surgery if there's 1,000 robots in driving distance that can operate on your eye?
Nothing.
A couple $100.
Mhm.
Like the price is going to just come down. And same thing with primary care. Look at your.
But there's a value in eyesight. I mean, you're not going to argue the fact that.
No, no,
Did
no,
you,
but
Yeah, but
would
anybody
you
can
ever
do
get
it.
LASIK or anything like that? Did
I
you?
don't know. No.
No.
No, I've never had.
Only because it's not
Oh,
holistic, or
I don't
because
need it.
No.
No.
But you
because you're a
need it.
stud.
I
That's
don't
why.
think I
All
need
right,
it.
all right.
if you had
I
no
don't know yet.
insurance and you were losing your eyesight and you needed a cataract surgery, and there were very few people in the community skilled at doing that surgery, and you had only a few bucks in, a limited amount of cash,
You weren't going to be able to get it.
but if it's your eyesight,
Yeah.
so if they say it's $4,000, you're gonna be like, I'll fucking, sorry, Chris, beg,
Mhm.
borrow, and steal.
Right.
I'll beg, borrow, and steal to get that $4,000.
Yeah.
But now, if there's for that one doctor with the great talent, the unique specific knowledge, now there's 50 robots with general knowledge. How much are the robots going to charge? They don't. They're not people.
You just have to pay off the robot,
Yeah, $400.
Yeah,
Like it's going to
like it.
drop 90%.
which is
The price is going to drop dramatically for medicine. So that tells us that our unique knowledge is something that's going to hold its value more than this
the commodity of
the
pill, yeah.
the commodity of health
Yeah.
coming from the out. Here's what I can do to you, surgery. Here's what I can give to you, medicine. Well, you don't need specific knowledge for that anymore. It's it's commoditized. You
Yeah.
can train the AI, and you're going to have this primary care system that's going to be AI driven. There'll be some human that has to sign off on it. It'll be a nurse practitioner. The value is going to dramatically drop. And
I'm just going to play devil's advocate. AI is going to be better at doctoring than doctors.
Yeah.
Right. It's already catching more on radiology
Yeah, I
than
love that on
radiologists, which is
radiology.
incredible. So let's just say one positive thing is that, like, for there's going to be blood results, this, that, the other thing. That AI is going to be able to read better than most doctors, and going to be able to come up with better things. Kelly, I am on a podcast, Kelly. You can't
put her
bother
on.
us.
Put her on.
So, but I also think that AI at some point, for example, if we're going to be talking about subluxation based, right? And how do you determine a subluxation, whether it be surface EMG that some people use or palpation that some people use? Don't you think there'll be AI robots or something like that will be able to quote unquote palpate, do surface temperature, do a thing?
Well, there's
and then-
already AI hand
right,
based
massages,
massage,
right, and then be able to administer an even more specific force into the
Mhm.
spine to create an adjustment. Does that scare you?
well, we've already commoditized chiropractic with the company The Joint. The
Yeah.
Joint is selling crack, right? So they're come in and we will make your bones crack, and people kind of like that, and they're willing to pay $20 for it.
That's
So
correct.
That's commoditized.
Yeah.
And that is what AI can do.
And
for-
social
for our
media is
profession.
promoting that type of stuff. And I'm not saying bad thing. I watch this one guy. I'm not going to say it, but
I
like
think it's terrible. Yeah.
it is the most attractive thing on there. You're getting millions of views on the crack videos.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with my team. By the way, you see how often I say team now?
It's good. You're
Yeah,
learning.
really committed. With my team, he goes, we have to just start doing crack videos
Yeah.
so that we can do it. And I'm like, I think it bastardizes us. I'm like, it's not
I
about
do it
crack
for
videos.
fun.
It was going to, we could do it for fun, right? But like when we were going on to, when we do the street fair, for example, right? And we're out there and the guys are adjusting people right there on the street. I'm like, you haven't done an exam. You're like, you're
Yeah,
bastardizing. You're making it look like it's just, we're like a novelty,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
it's like a tchotchke.
Yep.
And I hate that. I mean, we're
It's-
much more.
It's a
than-
difference between manipulation and adjustment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why these words matter. If you take the lexicon away from our profession, you take our profession away. The word subluxation matters.
trying to say.
The word adjustment matters
Mhm.
because manipulation and joint dysfunction has no value to our unique philosophy, which is your health doesn't come from me giving you the adjustment. The health comes from releasing something within you that allows health to come from the inside out. right? So that ultimately, we can't lose our language.
Right.
Words matter.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize chiropractic is not just the adjustment. It is the pillars of health, right?
Mhm.
You're doing the metabolic
Yeah.
health and sleep and hydration and it's funny because you listen to the medical doctors when they're starting to do stuff like that, and they're like, "Wow, nobody's ever taught us that at all. They were never, ever,
Not
ever
only that,
taught that."
not only that, but they suck at it when they try to do it. I got to tell you, I don't like to use the term functional medicine, but let's just say functional medicine. The best practitioners are chiropractors. The worst are medical doctors because the amount of retraining is never complete. And we at least have the right philosophy going into it that we're far better at it.
And you know what's funny is I have to listen to Kelly every day with this fear that, her partner's an MD and she's DC and they're having these problems with IFM. And she's like, well, I'm just a chiropractor. People are going to just look at that and they're just going to go to the medical doctor. Da, da, da. More calls come in and be like, oh, I prefer to see the chiropractor because, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's
Those
she doesn't realize
people, the people who would do that would not go to her anyway.
Yeah.
And look, I don't care what letters come after your name. If you're Dr. Kelly, you're Dr. Kelly.
She's changing.
It doesn't matter.
It is amazing to see what she's doing now. It is like she's like, you should have done this. You're smarter than me. I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do what you're doing, right? So her unique knowledge. Is
Why do you think that? Just because your mind doesn't work
I don't think
that
my
way,
mind. Well, no. I mean, first off, like,
I
I love the scientific background. Like my head
Yeah.
works so science that. Like so with regards to dysfunction and going and investigating, almost like a detective.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna okay. Your thyroid is under functioning, hypothyroidism and stuff like that. Here's your synthroid. Or let's go investigate back what's going on. Thyroid problem, pituitary problem, hormone problem, precursor problem. That to me is exciting as hell.
But your mind does think like that structurally.
It
Like
does.
You've spent most of your career in the orthopedic world.
Yeah.
Right. You deal
Maybe
with
it's just
back
a-
accidents and structural.
Yeah.
Because I heard that when you testify, you're very desirable because you have a photographic memory and you're really good at understanding like just the physics
Yeah.
of injury. It's the same thing. You just would need to shift
Yeah.
direction at this point in your life.
Maybe it's just
Decided
because
to
I don't
do
want to go
that.
back to school. I don't want to take a test. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. This really is.
But that's not your passion. It's not what you do. It's not your thing.
I'd never want to do that
Yeah.
No, why not?
Yeah.
You're doing it. What are you talking about?
for himself.
for myself.
Just for yourself.
I'm not
Yeah.
interested.
You're
in
so
doing it for other
selfish,
people.
dude. All you care about is yourself.
That's right. Me first.
Yeah,
That's
but
nice.
you know what's great about Chris and all of the clients that I built up over the last 10 years is really confident, great hands-on chiropractors who are busy, have no problem identifying a patient that needs their metabolic health addressed and knows how to get them to somebody who's going to help them. They don't live in this fear state like, they only had limited funds and they got to stay with my program. And you know what I mean? Like it's just
No.
this lack
And
mindset.
that's the beingness. That's,
Yeah. That's
What does the patient need? Like
What does the
is
patient need?
I just try to create leaders. You know what I mean? Just go be the best versions of yourself. And I tell them all the time.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Whatever you lose will come back to you 10x. I'm sure. Right? I'm there. I'm like, even yesterday, right? I was in my flow state yesterday. I had a new patient yesterday. Came in, did physical therapy, did orthopedics, had and I'm like, this is what she like came in over here like that. I'm like, all right, so we're about to do. I did the consult. We're about to do the exam. And the first thing I'm like this. I'm like, do you know that your shoulder is that high? I literally ripped my mirror off the wall. In my room 2, I ripped the mirror off the wall. I just wanted to show it to her.
Right.
She goes, oh my God, I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we just started there and then limited range of motion. I'm like, this indicates a lot of issue, this, that, the other thing. She had x-rays from somewhere else. I'm like, did you take motion x-rays? Had no idea. Did anybody go over these x-rays? She had the disc. Nobody went over the x-rays with her. So I'm showing her her degenerative disc disease and 5, 6, and 6, 7 on top of each other. And we're wondering why there's range of motion issues. Why are you getting pain into your shoulder? And like that. It took so long. I had extra time, so it took 45 minutes to do all the consult. I had the extra. Typically, I only have 45 minutes, so I had an hour. So I treated her for 15 minutes. She comes out perfect.
He treated her
I treated her for
for
15
minutes.
You know, like I cared for her. What do you want me to say? I get one thing at a time. I call them my team. All right, that's all I got. I got a certain capacity.
I didn't
over
say
here.
a word.
came out perfect. And she was just like, oh my God, I ripped the mirror off the wall again. See, that can happen instantaneously. Now it won't stay.
So there's your flow
instantaneously,
state. That's you at your best. So build your team so that all the other stuff that you don't need to be doing, you don't have to do,
Yeah.
and that's what you do. And then just attract so that you fill up the time doing that.
Being,
You know what I mean?
being
Vortex.
vortex.
You gotta be in your vortex.
Is that not funnels? Funnels?
funnels?
Funnels?
Funnels.
Funnel.
If you had the, what does a perfect practice look like to you? What's how like, is it an insurance based practice or all cash? Is it kids? Is it athletes? Like that's, you just got to reverse engineer it. Like when we said, what does it look like to us?
Yeah.
I was like,
When you have that poverty mindset, you're like, everyone, everything,
Everyone.
insurance, cash, I'll do it all. I'll do anything. Come on. And
Right.
then you
And see,
become
and I'm the-
everything
and
to
I'm-
no
and
one.
Jack of all trades and master of none.
and I go into my new patient orientation at day 3, which is absolutely mandatory because I want to explain the beingness of what we do.
Yeah.
And my goal is to polarize and eliminate. Right.
You want those people out if they're
Oh,
not if
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
on
of
board.
course.
goodbye.
I'm
Of
going into
course.
eliminate. Right.
Yeah.
People are
Right.
going into sell and close.
Right.
I'm going into eliminate.
How can I get you to leave?
Right.
Yeah.
And or how can I get you to change and understand?
Right.
Or you're either in or you're out.
Yeah,
right?
there's
You know what I
no-
mean? And
yeah.
I tell them all the time, and then I got this from France. And everyone needs a chiropractor, but I don't have to be everybody's chiropractor.
Right.
Right. And I can send you anywhere you want to go if you want to pay a $10 or $15 copay.
You got the guy across
I
the
will,
street.
and you can tell him how you want to be adjusted, and
Right.
he'll do that for you. He
Right.
will give you miscare.
Right.
We're a wellness place that does chiropractic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you're either in or you're out. And if you think you're in, and 2 weeks in, I notice you're out, you're out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will get a refund.
Here's
And you
your
will
money.
be out.
I'm a people pleaser, but I'm also I want to help people. But like for example, in my practice, you say me personally, I don't want to treat everybody, but I have a provider who specializes in pediatrics. She wants to treat children, prenatal, postnatal. So I love bringing them in. I'm like, you got to go see Dr. Kim. She's
Mhm.
amazing. I got Dr. D.
Well, you got
she's a
you
fashion
got
woman.
you got the Schroth guy. You
Sure.
got the,
Like I want to
know.
help everybody,
Right.
but I'm not trying to do it myself.
Right.
I'm trying to find people who are well qualified,
Right.
to
You
do
should,
that. type
I
of
think
stuff.
I think part of what you could do would be is a team mindset expansion and help them understand the true benefits of chiropractic. I don't think they get it.
You're talking about especially my other specialties, my occupational
I'm
therapy.
just
my-
talking about people who are answering those phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to understand the health benefits and the power of chiropractic, right? Things like people canceling because they feel better.
Right.
That's a misunderstanding of chiropractic.
And you could start
Someone
the
trying to-
conversation with
someone-
the
yeah.
health benefits of what it means to come into this office.
Right.
You know what I mean? In other words, like you said, you do have other professions. You have physical therapy, occupational therapy. You have all this other stuff.
That's all stupid.
Fine.
The funny thing is, no, because even my physical therapist,
Every word
my
just came out of
physical
his mouth. It's
therapists are
stupid.
on. They're on function. They're not on pain.
Right.
Even my PTs are. And don't get me. The world of PT right now with all the private equity that the freaking mills, and it's crazy, and nobody cares about anything anymore. And I have a specific example where
So there's
I-
the opportunity. There's opportunity.
Oh, and
out
it
there.
is, and trust me, we don't even have to quote unquote take advantage of it just because of who we are. The advantage is there.
So physical therapy, PE is causing physical therapy services to be commoditized, just like
It's worse than commoditized. It is just
bad service.
it's
But the problem
purposely
with-
bad.
The problem with physical
I don't-
therapy is it's just generic.
Nah, the
generic.
problem with bad physical therapy is it is generic. I
all
will
generic.
put my providers up. These guys,
Yeah,
are,
but they're not. The outcome is gonna. It's just not.
no. The outcome is not the same.
it is.
So we had a patient. It's like
The outcome might be better with your guys,
okay,
but the outcome is still the same.
which
It's a-
is
It's a pain-based functional improvement.
Yeah.
yeah.
Still
Well,
the
yeah,
structural.
if
integrity.
somebody has a if somebody tore their ACL,
surgical. I tell
Somebody-
people all the
yeah.
time, physical therapy is actually the best. I refer for all extremities and post-surgical, pre-surgical stroke things. But when it comes to the spine, I will absolutely never
Got it.
refer to
Right.
a physical therapist.
I would say 98% of spine cases are going through my chiropractic.
Yeah,
department,
yeah.
not my physical therapy.
Yeah, that's why I'm
or
saying
occupational
it's
therapy.
hard to it's generic outside of
the spine.
surgical.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. It's one of those things.
I have a very specific example. We referred a patient to an orthopedist. right? And
Fuck
then the
him.
orthopedist had his own physical therapy, and instead of referring it back to my physical therapy that referred it to him,
Of
he
course.
screwed up. He or she, but he screwed up and brought him to his mill. And 5 weeks later, at one point, he had, this poor guy had 12 different physical therapists. And most of the time, it was just an aide, not even a PTA.
Yeah, I
It was,
hear that all the
like
time. I
that.
see different people all the
And
time.
one time, the last time, there was this one covering physical therapist woman. And the report was she was standing on this side of the room. He was over there doing his 15 minutes of exercises. And after he was completely done, even though he was being leered at by this girl, she goes up to me and she goes, you were doing your exercises all completely wrong. And he goes, I've been doing this for 5 weeks.
Right.
You just stared at me for 15 minutes and I'm doing my exercises wrong. Don't you think that was something that you should have been
Yeah.
And that was the world. That is now the world of physical therapy.
No, I get it.
It's like, because he's 13 people in that freaking room. There's not enough thing. There's no therapy going on. It's the motion of
Again,
physical therapy.
it's the value proposition. The third party is not in the room. The person paying is not in the room.
Yeah. They don't care about the outcome. They don't care. They only care. Yeah.
So the provider is only selling you to give them your time, not your money.
Plus, what
Because
the
when
insurance
money's
is
on the
covered.
line, you
You're
better
gonna get-
step up your game.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to know how great your fucking team is and your communication is stop taking insurance.
Yeah.
And you will quickly
That's
find
right.
out where the problems are in your office because, all the time I hear people are like, oh yeah, I got a 90% close rate and I got 100%, this. I'm like, well, how much insurance? 80% insurance. So you're closing someone with a $10 copay? That's like saying someone comes in a car accident. I have 100% close rate with
Right,
a
right,
It's
right,
a big
right.
fucking deal. Have them write you a check for $4,200 and let me know how fucking good you are.
Right.
Have them put it on their credit card and let me know. Like, it's not a thing, man. Like, your level of communication has to become so elevated, like you said. And when it comes to like people who are like getting referred to these mills, they're
Yes.
just doing stuff based on insurance coverage.
Yep.
And they're just doing it in big rooms because they just
Right.
want their $12.
And the private equity world, they're like, we need predictability. So this is the reimbursement.
That's
These
exactly
are
it.
the insurance companies. This is so they're not
Someone
going.
comes
And
in-
not only that, for example, a private equity owned medical practice, this, that, the other thing. That's like, okay, go through the motions to get to the most expensive procedure, right?
Right.
Okay, go to your PT so we can finally get the surgery approved.
Right.
And I'm like, so the
Right.
goal is to get these people to surgery.
Well,
And
that's
it's
why
like,
I don't like insurance because it guides the
care.
The care.
yeah.
Right. Because you have a little list somewhere that says GI covers these 3 things. Aetna covers these 4
Yes.
things.
We absolutely do.
And that's when
You're
and
100% right. And
and-
literally, there's a meeting today about it.
and it makes
It's
me
crazy. It makes you-
very
you're gonna vomit.
uncomfortable.
Stick around here at 1:15. Come over here at
I'll be
1:15.
here.
You'll start yelling.
You know
Just
what
start
you
yelling.
should let me do? You should let me do my
We
new
talked
you
about
should
this.
let me do my class for your team. So
I
they
would.
can, right.
When can we do that?
Anytime
I'm
you want.
booking it right now. When can we do that?
I'm probably gonna upset everybody.
Everybody.
Great.
They will never talk to me again because it's
You
just
don't care
really
about whether or
uncomfortable.
not they like you or
I know,
not.
but I want you to like me.
I
and
love
want
you.
your
I will
doctors to
never,
like me. I'm
ever
gonna
not like
insult
love you.
every single human
Good.
being in your team by accident.
Good.
But
no,
that,
do it
that
on
would
purpose.
be the
I think that would be
conversation.
awesome.
We're going to challenge everybody here.
I'm taking you up on that.
All right.
You do it anytime.
We're
you want.
not. No, we're not leaving here today until I have that on the books.
I'm going to record it.
I have the Applaud. Thank you, Billy Sticker. Again, have you heard of Applaud? It's a little listening device, AI listening device.
You know, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you
Applaud?
use your Remarkable yet? This guy gave you a nice gift. I'm going to give you a
know,
nice
he
gift.
does.
Yeah.
Every
I'm
day.
going to give you guys a nice gift.
I
No,
love that.
yeah,
I don't need
this
any
one's a good one.
gifts.
You
I
need a
don't-
gift.
I don't take gifts.
You got no gifts.
I don't
Uh,
take gifts.
Wait, what was I just about to say?
Anyway, back to the insurance thing.
Oh, yeah.
That should make you extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it just was one of the you know what else makes me uncomfortable? A cash rate and an insurance rate.
Yeah.
That violates everything inside my beingness. Like even when I first came out and we started in our first 3 or 4 years of insurance, I still made the office visit the exact same amount for someone paying cash versus someone paying like if Aetna used to pay us $250 for the office visit, but my office visit was $75.
That hurt. That killed you.
I
Yeah.
would only make it $75.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just very weird to me that there was more money in the exact same process, and we were taking.
The problem is this: like, you want it to be what I want. My perfect world would be, I guess, a cash practice because I don't
Then
care
you
what
make
I
it.
do that day. This is what. Okay,
That's
if
how
it's
it
like
is.
$130. Let's just say, for example, is what
Hold on a
everything
second.
goes
Hold on a second.
So,
Hold
but
on,
you
hold
can't
on a
listen,
second.
listen.
No, this is interesting. So get yourself replaced here. Let's stick him in an office somewhere to create that from nothing.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Like, you know what?
I got a
Maybe
spot in Yonkers that wants to.
why don't we do that? Well,
The
don't send him all
decompression
the way to
clinic?
Yonkers.
Oh.
He's gonna-
Yeah,
all of a
it's-
sudden he's got to commute.
All right,
Yeah.
where you want to go? Where you want to go?
It's an interesting concept, right? Because it's like,
But we
the insurance world makes
could do
you
the
go,
decompression thing too.
You gotta
Yeah.
bill out for the manipulation. You have to bill out for the traction. You have to bill out for this, bill out for that, bill out for that. And there's a fair health rate, 80% of fair health or 85% of fair health that you do, right? And then you're only gonna get a
What language
percentage
you
of
need
that.
to speak?
you guys
Getting all fired up.
So I mean, ideally, what is I want to. Well, actually, I can't say that. It really is time based, right? I keep on saying if I can treat somebody, care for somebody for an hour, most of the time,
My
I'm
God,
lethal.
what are you doing for an
I am
hour?
absolutely lethal because I deal with the soft tissue. I deal with the soft tissue component of the subluxation. There is a soft. In 90% of your cases,
me
I
up when he's
promise
done.
you,
No, no, no,
barring
he's-
some kind of motor
he's-
vehicle accident
He's
or
addressing
something,
the soft tissue with the. I mean, when I go there, it's not just the adjustment. When I go to your office, I'm getting the traction. I'm getting all that stuff, which
Yeah.
is addressed in soft tissue. And
well,
in
no,
a
traction
different way.
is yes, ligamentous soft tissue stuff, but like myofascial
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. What I can do with regards to trigger points and scar tissue and fascial stuff. I mean, it really. I believe
no, I
stuff
agree
like
with
that,
you.
and it takes time. Fascia takes time. Sorry, muscles can go a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
easier, but fascia takes time. And I have people. I believe fascia is a huge component.
I love
to what I do.
fascia.
Oh, love fascia, right?
It-
and when
it-
people
I
are
hate
sitting
it
like
on-
this,
I hate it in my steak.
yeah. When people are sitting like this for 10 hours a day, and at every single one of my consults, I would say 80% of my consult, this is the problem. This becomes a huge fascial component because it is time.
It's backwards because I don't need to address the fascia because you can restore the structure and you can I can
Remodel. The fascia.
spend
Right.
6 visits working on the fascia like we
Yeah.
do in the initial and then start remodeling the spine and then the fascia inflammation, irritation, scar tissue just won't come back.
Got it.
You know, it's just this.
It's a different philosophy than I have,
it's
but
the right philosophy.
trying
structure,
to say?
structure
But how,
takes
Yeah,
function.
right.
how much is an hour of your time worth?
I guess
is your hourly rate?
$31.45.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is your hourly rate?
It starts about $31, I think. It's less than the time that they cost for my son's haircut. I can tell you that. That's the joke. I tell you that. My son's haircut gets better reimbursement than I get. That's for sure. But but you might be right. I do love when I have a patient that walks in at an 8 out of 10 on the scale, whether it's pain or dysfunction or whatever like that, and they walk
Pull up
out
your
at 0.
calculator there on your phone.
Go ahead.
Give it to me.
Okay. Here,
Give it to me.
give it to me. Here's your calculator.
All right.
2.9, $2.90. I think.
Hold
that's-
on.
just-
Let's work backwards. So,
All right.
what is a good annual salary for a doctor?
I don't know. What's the average annual salary of a chiropractor?
A successful chiropractor who works for himself. 300,000. Like,
I mean,
give
the
a
average. I
number.
mean, I would think that's high for
Forget
a chiropractor.
average. We're talking
Well,
about for
Scott.
high performing. You
Say
know,
250. Let's
top
just say
5%. All right. So let's just
Not
say
so
fucking clueless.
you're going to pay yourself $250,000 a year, and
Okay.
and you're putting in 30 hours a week patient time,
Mhm.
right?
Okay. Where's he going? It's exciting. Do you want to put this on here so people can see what you're doing?
Hold on.
No, I guess not.
All right. So that's
120 hours a month.
What did you say?
120 hours a month times 12.
120 hours a month times 12.
That's how many hours
So
you're working.
1,440 hours.
divided by $250,000.
Yeah, that's where I think you're going anyway.
Yeah. On average.
All right. So $175 an hour. That's kind of low, but
Right.
that's after expenses and all that stuff. So,
Right.
so the average
Double that.
overhead, the average
It's
overhead.
going to be $350.
Okay.
Well,
So
average overhead. Okay, that's a
Okay.
good question. What's the average overhead of
$350.
a medical practice?
It should be full
50%.
30. I mean, that would be high.
Should be 30.
well, in this area,
high.
in in this area,
Realistically,
it's-
50% is a goal of ours.
I run at 35% overhead.
All right. Let's just say $300.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's one of my standards. Yeah.
$350 an hour. So if you want to do fascia for an hour, fine, charge for it. What is your time worth? $30?
It is.
No, it's not.
But I have providers that work for I'm able to get to my number by having
Well, that's
by
why your
leveraging that.
overhead is 75%.
No, because you have to understand. He's
A little higher, dude.
listen.
Francis looked at the numbers. He goes, "Bro, what is
Holy
going
shit.
on?"
Right. They love my numbers because but I think you just say words that indicate like
Yes.
the conversation, like he's doing things based on time codes, right?
Yes.
Like, so not you, the chiropractic part, but the other part does things that takes more than the 8 minutes or the 15 minutes.
That
and
is
then you can-
allotted.
That is allotted, so he can get.
So
add
he's
that-
being a good guy by giving the extra service.
Away.
Giving it away
his
because
end.
he's a
On my end.
because he's a good
care.
he's a good doctor.
That's
I
right.
care. That's bullshit.
No, it's not
complete
bullshit. I
bullshit.
absolutely
Time
care.
is not.
Yeah.
Time
You-
is not
you-
equivalent to
when you
being.
chip
No,
a good
in
it's
doctor.
true because
yourself.
sometimes what I did for that woman, and again, the hour was the new patient. Let's just talk about like the treatment time was 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I have done that in 4 minutes.
Right.
I do my thing, and I'm like that. I'm like, you're better. And I'm like, okay, we're good. They're like, wait, that's it? I'm like, you're good.
Right.
Like, you balance out everything like that. You're good. Everything's moved. And then like they look at me like I'm some kind of asshole now, right? And stuff like that.
Right.
I'm like, how could you look at me? You just came in. You had pain. You had dysfunction. You had alignment issues and stuff like that. I was able to correct that very easily today. God bless. We're in a good place. You're good. Like I just saved you 15 minutes. You were allotted here for 30 minutes.
Right.
You got out of here in about 7.
Right.
Congratulations. So
Well, that's and I have this, and every once in a while, I do have this experience where I'll get like a nurse or a nurse practitioner who says, "Well, I was only on the table for 2 minutes," and I always say, "Well, how long does it make you healthy?" I adjust my kid in 1 minute, and I love him more than you.
Mhm. Yeah.
do you say that to them?
And I say, but I mean, I like you, but I love my kid.
Yeah.
It takes me 1 minute to adjust my kid. Your outcomes and your goals are based on consistency, rhythms, protocols, lifestyle. We're doing all that. Time on the table is not equivalent to your health. The time when I'm setting the stage for your health. You're getting healthier for the 24 to 48 hours after I release the subluxation and you do your postural exercises. You're not here for the adjustment. You're here for the effects of the adjustment. That's the difference. So
Right.
you have to educate them from the start. You're going to be on the table for 2 minutes, but your health is changing forever. Right. So so that time is not the thing. They're here for the effects of the adjustment, not the adjustment.
Right.
They're here for the effects of your treatment, not your
Not your
treatment.
treatment.
Right. So those are things that's called expectations and agreements. You got to let them know that this ahead of time. Otherwise they get fussy. Like, you're going to pay me $95 for 2 minutes.
And you're asking because I asked them, what are your goals? Like, what are you
Right.
trying to get to? What are you? What is this preventing you from doing in your life,
Right.
even completely or even just partially? And
Right.
so we're trying to get to your goals,
Right.
and
you got to just let them
then you
know.
got to manage the expectations.
Yeah,
Like,
gotta-
okay, we're going to get you to those goals.
It's time, energy, and effort. It's
Mhm.
commitment, expectation, and agreement. You got to
Yeah,
get it
man.
up front.
Up front.
You get me all excited.
Also,
You're not leaving here without getting scheduled.
Also, we do exactly what you did with that mirror with every single human being on their re-exam. We stand in front of them,
Right.
analyze their posture. We stand in front of them and we mirror their posture, and we say, "Did you know you stand like this?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "No," and we're like, "This is how you're standing right now. How do you think that's affecting your life?" After everything we just told you about the nervous system and innate flow through your body and energy flows, and they're like, "Well, I can't possibly be healthy." Done. It's done. So it's just a process. You got to reverse engineer your dreams, right? That's all.
That's all.
That's
Just
it.
that easy. Quick, guys. That's it.
We did it in one day. Never take insurance again.
If you
Yeah.
only had an hour to treat the fascia of all these people,
Well, he's saying
$350 an hour.
$350 an hour. Guys, my new rate is
That's
$350
low,
an
by
hour.
the way. That's low. I don't
And you know
know.
how close it is?
I-
It might be closer than you think. Did you see? It was actually, I had seen her original post, and they just did something on CNN yesterday on CNN.com, whatever it was, with the breast surgeon. Did you see this? The breast surgeon was in the operating room with the patient, sedated on the table, scrubbed in, and the insurance company called her on the patient. She scrubbed out of the operating room to speak with the insurance company to try to figure out now, of course, United Healthcare denies that they asked for the doctor in the operating room. Also, they were just talking about like an extra night in the hospital, but the woman got called out of the surgery by her insurance company, and she scrubbed out and had to talk to an insurance company about a procedure that a patient needed. It was a breast cancer patient. And did you see this or not?
No.
You didn't see them? And
It's
this
disgusting.
is happening more and more often. This woman had the guts to
Yeah.
put it on TikTok.
Mhm.
She's going to get audited for the rest of her life. She's not going to get paid a
The other
single
thing,
dime because
know,
of the
yeah,
exposure of
you
this.
would,
and
when you get your goal set, you'll never have to think
worry
like
about
that.
that again.
You go home at night and you just lay down and go to sleep, and you don't have to worry about did so and so do his note right or did so and so do their like. It's just
You just get to
just
actually
like-
do what you're supposed
and
to
you
do.
create when again this is a Steve Franson thing. Do you have a double yellow line? You have a single yellow line like myself and Dr. Taylor. It's a double yellow broken line, which means it's interchangeable. Her rule is she has to do it the way I do it.
Yeah.
She has to maintain the speech. Everything is interchangeable. There's no one that's. I joke with her and I send everyone I don't want with her. Like anytime there's someone that wants like a elbow or something done, I'm like, oh, she's the elbow specialist. She's
Right,
the
right.
jaw specialist. Like I don't. If it's on your, I'm not touching anything
Outside
unless
the
it's your
spine. Yeah.
right? So I let her do all that fun stuff, but it's interchangeable. And if you can become a cash-based, where interchangeable office, where everyone's doing the exact same thing and they can see any big person, you're now in that flow, man.
We do that here, though.
Yeah, but
But I do have my docs who have their specialties, prenatal, postnatal.
yeah,
extremities,
I mean,
and
I'm saying you just have to. You have so much room for simplicity in here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think you overcomplicate it, and it gets me very.
I don't know.
concerned.
I think it would be great to get him into like a fresh office, start
Yeah,
from
let 'em
scratch,
go. Wind 'em
just
up.
teach him like to go against every instinct he has.
just do the opposite of everything, the opposite of exactly what I'm doing right now.
Right.
And my life would be so much more. We talked about this.
Right.
So when I was talking to my VP about Franson and how it's all systems and procedures and statistics, she goes, impossible, right?
Awesome.
We have my occupational therapist she does lymphedema, right? So there's lymphatic drainage, lymphedema, and stuff like that. Specialized in it, right? She worked at Memorial Sloan Kettering on cancer patients with lymphedema. So we have still Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is the teacher's benefits over here. If you are a teacher in the state of New Jersey, there's still tiers, right? And we want to bill $350 for a 45-minute lymphatic drainage massage. And we don't want to deal with insurance with that. So we want to bill it out, and then we want them to just, whatever the check comes to you, you keep it. But the problem is if we bill out $350, actually it'll never happen this way, but I can't remember what we're talking about. But like some teachers will get $62 back. Some teachers will get $400 back. And we're like, wait, then they're now getting paid to come to my office.
Right.
How does that work out? You know what I'm saying? And she goes, this is just with one insurance, with one condition, with one treatment. And this is like the world that we live in. And how do you simplify that?
Get out of that world.
What
Yeah.
if you just got rid of insurance
Yeah.
and you eliminated some people and you lowered your overhead?
Well,
and you
that's
Well,
obviously.
yeah.
That's why I'm saying it would just be a fun experiment to open an office
Yeah.
and like the bare minimum,
just let them do some work.
and
Chiropractic.
A chiropractic, a $120 chiropractic bench.
To
Yeah,
I almost
use
wonder,
drop table.
like,
I need drop in.
what would be the
You use drop table?
minimum?
Yeah,
What
use
would you
drop
need?
lazy.
You need. You don't even need a front desk. I mean, you could just AI the whole thing.
well, you
Okay.
could do 200
Stick a
visits
person
without
in
a
there.
front desk.
Yeah,
But now you can, you have AI answering the phone calls. You have AI answering the
that's what I'm
the
saying.
web
Just
stuff. He doesn't
Even
know.
be
He doesn't
simpler.
have AI doing anything.
low overhead. Just the
Yeah.
beingness,
That's it.
being
We'll
the
train you on
beingness
communications and train you on on mindset and let you go.
What would be a like the minimum number of hours per week? Like 18 hours of adjusting time. Divide that by 3. That's 6 hours a day. 3 morning hours, 3 afternoon hours. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever.
Okay,
That would be the. I'm
just
just
the basic
curious.
bare minimum.
I'm just curious, like with an incredibly low overhead, what could you get that office to do?
Not what I mean. You with low overhead, you could charge lower rates. But the whole idea is, I
No,
want to get
forget
my
lower
hourly
rates.
rate.
No.
That's not what we were.
Forget
getting at.
lower rates. Your hourly rate sucks.
It's $350 an hour.
It's right, but $350 an hour. All right. So if at what
It should be more than that.
$75. Like, I don't know what is the going rate right
I
now?
charge 95 a visit.
All right, so $100 a visit.
There you go.
So you need
When you put all the visits together, is there you put it-
Whatever, 90, $4,250.
That's what it is, no matter what. Okay, got it.
all right. So at 10, let me tell you something. 6 minutes is a long time.
For an
10
adjustment.
10, it's a long time.
Yeah,
If
I
you
feel,
get
I
half
feel
of
like I
that.
just married that person at 6 minutes.
Right.
Like, we're on a
the
date.
adjustment. I keep on saying, like, I love how they like a lot. Like, I think it was, well, it's not a time code, but like, I don't know how quickly I can adjust everybody in
Hold
a
on a
minute.
second.
Yeah.
At 10 an hour, which is like ridiculously doable. At 10 an hour, that's $950 an hour. At 18 hours is, do the math, and then you got to practice with an overhead that has what, a couple of $1,000s a month in rent and
Utilities and
Whatever.
phone, internet, and water.
Yeah.
Right.
that's more profitable than this place.
Right, it is. And you could do 200 people times, you have some Medicare patients.
I
or
have
whatever it is,
such a-
wellness patients.
So I have such a poverty conscious. My head is like, how do you even get to that many people? How do you even get that many
Well,
people
because
just coming
you're-
in your front door?
Right, because but you are a grassroots person, so you do
Yeah,
street fairs
man.
and you go to vendors.
I
you
don't
get
want to do
excited.
that.
Yeah, but that's fun.
But you
It
do
used to be
that.
Do
fun.
that.
But you do
I
that,
do.
and you give 80% of your money away to overhead.
Yeah, they do that.
Well, whatever.
I would still. I mean, I got no problem. I would do it. I don't like it, but I would do it just for the growth of
The
it,
challenge
the
of it.
challenge of
Yeah.
it. That's why I think the other offices are just challenge things.
Let's
They're just
do it.
good.
Well, I mean,
I'm
I'm
still testing my.
Yes,
beta
the market.
testing
How's
my
it doing,
market.
by the
I mean,
way?
it's doing okay.
Yeah.
I just spoke to them this week. They're going to create a couple new landing pages now, so we're going to see how it goes from there. So I'm 3 weeks in so far.
I have a conversation with my.
I came out of
market-
retirement in his office last week. I gave Miguel an adjustment.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was
Yeah.
the last time you
Yeah.
threw a manual adjustment in there? Oh, you. adjusted
I
it
adjust.
only
I
did.
adjust at least 3-4 times a week.
That's right. Big time.
No, I'm
How
My-
the hands?
my-
How the hands? Are good.
my skills are sharp as they've ever been.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's good. He was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. 37 seconds to put someone in decompression. Why were you asking?
I saw that because I'm getting your table.
Oh yeah.
Old friend of mine from chiropractic school who didn't even remember me. I'm like, dude, De Palma, is this you? He goes, I'm sorry, who are you? And I'm like, dude, we were in chiropractic. Dude, our life class started with, I think, 388 people. It was a huge class.
Yeah.
How big was your class?
220.
Yeah, those are big classes. They
Yeah.
don't have classes anywhere that size these
No.
days, man. It's crazy.
So he's
So-
selling his decompression.
Yeah, he's down in. So he used to be in Saddlebrook. He's down in South Jersey, and I've been following him for a while. I remember him because he was a big muscle man.
I sold my the vibration plate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What? You
well,
just got the thing.
You know what? There's 4 of them at Lifetime. I'm at
Right.
Lifetime all the time. Like, I don't really need it.
He struggled to get that into the truck. You don't even care about it, Chris. That's what I'm
No,
hearing.
it
It's
was
just-
struggle.
yeah.
It was took 4 grown men freaking.
It comes apart. I didn't know. we
I
didn't
know. Well,
Now I
that
know.
the guys who
The
picked
more
it
you
up,
know.
the
Took it
guys who
apart.
picked it up did it right.
Yeah.
Where'd you sell it?
Some guy in South Jersey. He works for a pharmaceutical company. Came up to see it. I made a little profit on it.
Facebook Marketplace or what?
I gotta pee.
How'd you sell it?
Facebook Market.
Oh, you got to pee?
I gotta pee.
That's it. This is over. We
we're
didn't
done.
get into any of this. We
Next
were going to
time.
talk about
Next
parasite
time.
purges and stuff like
I
that.
didn't. Next time.
Can we wait till next time? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm getting eaten alive from the
I
inside.
can wait.
You got.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we just
We
had a
all do.
therapy start. I think I have a parasite.
We
How
all
would
have
you know
things,
if you're
yeah.
parasite?
I don't know. We just did a 5-day fast. so it'd be
Everybody's
hard
got
for you every
parasites.
time.
Everybody's got viruses. Everybody's got bacteria.
Yes.
Stop thinking that the body is some kind of
get
sterile
Bye.
environment.
He's leaving. He's just fucking leaving.
All right. Look at
All
you.
right.
You married her.
I married her. One Doc Coffee, guys. I got this. Don't worry. I'll hold you guys through this for the rest of the way. All right. Bye, everybody.